the second quarter of 2022 has seen a significant drop in startup investments. What it means for you, what it means for startups, what it means for the European Union in this video coming up now. Hi, I'm Oliver and welcome back to the channel Ask Me Startup, where we talk about startups, small businesses, and the world that surrounds them. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and pushing the notification bell because it really helps this channel to grow. If you're into business, if you plan to start a business, if you have a small startup, please feel free to download my free startup checklist, link in the description below. So the second quarter 2022 has seen a massive drop in investments by 38%. That is huge and has never been seen like this before in Europe. We've just seen increases and growth of the growth, and now things have changed. Why? Well, it's quite obvious, right? So we have a war in Europe, we have a significant supply shock, we have the potential of not having enough gas to heat and manufacture in the wintertime. Hence, things are kind of upside down currently in this part of the world. Then we got a food shock around the corner, so everything is not looking nice. But why did it affect startups? Well, look at the data, look at this graph first, and then we can see, yeah, we've seen increases and quarters, and then suddenly we've seen the downtrend in 2022 second quarter. What happened? Well, late stage investment has stopped, let's say roughly 50% less. That means that all those hot air balloons that have no content at all have had a hard time. And if you're not quite aware of what I'm talking about, let's have a look at this video up here where I'm partially explaining the problems on Klarna, for instance, which lost 90% of their valuation. Reality is today, because of the rise of interest rates and the economic problems, you have to pivot your business model. You have to deliver profits and not just promise some profits sometime in the future. It's hard, but it is possible. And if you look at the details on the investments done in late stage startups, you can see that they have been actually going down quite a long time, which means most of the stuff isn't as promising as in the past, and maybe they are forced to use the funds more wisely than in the past, which I think is a good idea. Lean investment is one of my favorite things to do. But if you plan to start a new business, how are things then? Well, it is great news. Nothing has changed. Meaning, if you got a good idea, you will always find seed and initial investors to foster and help you with your idea, because someone always believes that new ideas will have disruptive potential and they want you to test it out. And that's what you can see on the graph, right? I mean, nothing has changed at all. Angel and seed investment, look, if they kind of vary a little bit, it doesn't make any difference to you. Reality is, maybe they haven't found the good ideas. Maybe there's some small shrinkage in there, but reality for most of you will not make a difference. If you still have a great idea, you can pitch and most likely you will find investors. The next thing we can look at is the number of unicorns, because if the startup kind of market is crashing and the valuations are gone into thin air, into outer space, most likely the number of unicorns should come down as well, but they're not. So the number of unicorns stays more or less the same, which is a good indicator that if you have a great idea and the big market potential and you're already leveraging some of it, you're not suffering so much. Mind you though, if you have some of those fancy, let's say 60 billion evaluations beginning of the year and now only 3 like Klarna, yeah, you're still a unicorn one way or the other. Not quite a big unicorn anymore, but still a unicorn. But there are also good news I want to share with you. And that is, while doing the research for this video, I did found a website where startups specifically claim and are listed that are currently hiring. So instead of maybe you coming up with a new idea, you might want to go to one of these startups to learn how to run a startup. And I have to say, those links are great. These are all fresh companies, new ideas that are still looking for highly skilled people all over the world, but mainly in Europe. So that also gives you an indication, yes, our economy and our current growth potential is kind of limited because of all the problems we're facing. But for good ideas, people are still looking for smart brains and hard workers to let them grow. That's what's needed. That's what Europe is all about. If you want to have a look at the links, I'll leave them down below in the description. Just make yourself familiar with them and look up them from time to time, because these links will get updated with future postings and job postings in this currently, let's say, unclear times. All right, everybody, this is my short update on the situation in the European startup market. If you liked it, if you have any comments, just drop them down below. I thank you for your attention. Please subscribe because it really helps this channel to grow. If you made it so far in the video, also click the video up here that describes the problem the fintech industry currently is facing. I thank you once again, and I'm going to see you next time.